You have these so-called strong families getting their so-called bad genes into women's baby boxes to impregnate them with huge success rates. Just they know what to do. And so since when they get their sex pot, the nectars on their pickle are going to make them strong, physically, intellectually, and also their immune systems are going to be improved. Well, you know, you look at the disease, HIV. Well, no, too much sex and sexual promiscuity weakens the immune system. No, it strengthens it, because what leads to HIV and what leads to sexually transmitted diseases, and you can make the case that today herpes is worse because of how treatable retrovirus is versus herpes. That's going to be something that is going to be a long time, and that thing is insidious, and you get frequent reminders. Frequent, you know, it gets less frequent. Anyway, if you start sex early enough, particularly when you want it, even if it's in elementary school, and you don't go into repression, which causes a unique talent for mesmerism, but you can simulate that with eyes wide open, because that's the crap that the non-elites want to eat up and buy at Barnes & Noble, and people still want to read novels, and they buy it on Amazon.com. Talk about MacKenzie Scott putting out free novels for people to read, but people still want to eat up stuff that takes you on an emotional roller coaster ride and makes you cry. The penis orgasm is the penis orgasm. The mind orgasm is when you cry. And when you read these books, you're so entrenched in the roller coaster ride of, and if you put mortality in it, you know, that you solve that problem with the penis orgasm. But these authors make you have a mind orgasm, and what the substance that it produces rather than semen is tears. And if you ask literary professors, they'll even tell you that the curve of a plot is very much like the curve of the human sexual process, from arousal to climax, and then there's denouement, and it's there in the novel. So, but this is the crap people want to eat up. This is the hypnosis people want to eat up. They want to sit in a theater and watch and take that roller coaster ride through a screenplay, manifest into a motion picture with sound. But you should do it with eyes wide open and know that you're being manipulative. If you're too carried away by your own music, the smell of your own fart, you should differentiate it. If you're too carried away by it, it's going to be a problem. Because you yourself then become susceptible to that manipulation, instead of being the elite that puts out garbage and crap in the water for everybody to buy up and eat, so that major publishing houses, Hollywood, can pay you all this money for hypnotizing everybody and keeping them under the morality that's their service, that they do to society. Then you're just someone that's going to get HIV. So instead of not having the sex, you have to become dissociative identity and it's not a disorder. It's a disorder if you're too poor. And the fact that you're sitting in front of a psychologist at an early age is going to diagnose something like that, a personality disorder, means you're too poor. Dissociative identity, narcissistic, psychopath, histrionic, personality disorder, drama queen kind of stuff, that's the modus operandi of rich family. Everybody else, they get put disorder medications so that they can sit in front of, and they have their executive functions burnt out so that they're only capable of doing low-level jobs to make the rich richer, as they either go to jail and or get poorer and end up living miserable lives when they're meant to be on private jets and airplanes with gold seatbelt buckles and have a wife wearing a fur coat like Melania. In any event, the main point is, so what do we do about the problem that once they get their sex pot and they get the nectars on the pickle, they're not insane? And all the stuff that people start doing to them around them, the fast people, in order to latch the speed of thought and speech to a particular speed of movement, speed of walking, speed of motion, so that you can't latch a woman onto you and pick her up by her feet even though you're talking slowly, so you can mesmerize her. You know, Biggie Smalls, your words just hypnotize me, and you're going to tie her up in a Brooklyn basement. And the one after the other, and then you make sure you leave them a lot of money to take care of the children so no one can say you're too much of an asshole. It's what do we do? Since when they get the nectar on the pickle, they're not going to be nuts, and there's no justification at that point, because they're getting their medication. Sex is the medication, and sex is necessary. This don't wait, this boto Matthew or Sue, this don't wait, this don't lie. That's my new real estate slogan. You know, as I think about real estate and, you know, creating templates for brokerages that are employable and will have my face on everybody's face on the billboard and on the sign. But So we have to medicate them early, is what they say. But medicating them early, I'm going to remind you, means that during puberty, the man's penis does not grow. And Abilify especially, but many of these medications, and the big thing too is they cause man boobs. And I'm going to actually just lift my shirt up and show them to you in the next video, or maybe the next couple. I've got a lot of videos I have to make today. A huge queue. Because I got to show you the chest hair that I have, and I only started developing that shit. We hear about Hegseth. They're going to give everybody in the military testosterone if they want to test, and then testosterone therapy. But exercise might be the best testosterone therapy, because if you look at my facial hair, this is what grows. I grow facial hair fast, but most people have a little more facial hair. Mine is, centralized to under my chin. I probably would have more facial hair and grow a better beard if I had not taken that medication. But if, even Haldol, the classic one, Janssen, the original, that's the Joker kind of stuff, or Thorazine, first generation antipsychotics, that stuff too, it does a number on you, makes you fat, gives you breast tissue if you're a male, even after puberty. But think about it, you give it to someone that's 9, 10, 11 years old. And why do they want to do that? Why do they want to? And it's not the individual psychiatrist most of the time fault. They don't know what evil they're doing. They're working from a book, the DSM. But the reason why there's a emphasis on getting these psychiatrists improperly trained, they're not even medical doctors in a lot of cases today. So the point of it and having them do this and get medication into another psychologist, which means psychiatrists. If there's psychologists, if there's clinical psychologists, if there's counseling, if there's therapy in the schools, now they want one at every school. Let's get, because we watch Frasier, look at what they can do. No, Kelsey Grammer was a grammar genius. Kelsey Grammer is such a genius. He's from a genius family. I mean, that's why they put him Seattle in Frasier, is because it's a language. And that's probably, I say people shouldn't get humanities degrees anymore. If you're not someone that knows calculus, is going to go up to multivariable calculus, there's no point in you being at a university. But you can learn all of this stuff by reading like the great books of the Western world, and Mortimer J. Adler's Syntopicon with 102 great ideas, Western ideas, and the great conversation that catalogs everything that appears in this massive bookshelf of the classics, so to speak, by these ideas from angel to love, man to world. One to many, speaking of quantitative reasoning, that's not absent from, yes, this is very qualitative heavy, but it gets into Newton, Huygens, and all of these people. And of course, there's Freud. The last book is Freud, The Interpretation of Dreams, and Humanity and Its Discontents, right? So there's Freud. Of course, James, another name. But you can just read that. But that's probably a better thing to do. And these psychiatrists say you got to medicate these people early, but it prevents them from having the penis. And then if they have the penis, then they're going to get the nectars, and then that's going to be their medication, and then they're not going to be insane. But then they're going to have children. So we've identified these families as people that are bringing humanity's genes down. Well, I hate to say you're wrong, because the winner is the winner, and the one that makes the baby come out the baby box is the winner. So we got to get rid of these people that are trying to make our sons losers.